Hi, I'm Amy Lewis with SolidFire, now part of NetApp, and I'm here with Loy. Loy, can you introduce yourself?
Sure, my name is Loy Evans. I'm a data center solutions consultant working for Cisco Systems.
So, Loy, we were talking a little bit about trends in the industry. If you broke out the crystal ball, where do you see the industry going in the next 5 years?
Well, I don't know if I have a crystal ball, but if I could look in my highly polished marble ball, the way that I see it is, the automation is obviously some of the biggest trends that we see people getting into right now. And if you go and look at some of the trade mags, they're going to say that, basically if you're not automating now, then you're way behind. I do happen to think that they like to sell on hyperbole, which is great for them, but for the reality of the people that are coming into the industry right now, the biggest thing is going to be not whether you can run a CLI or whether you can configure a server or whether you can set up storage. It's going to be how you actually use your analytical thinking to think through the business problems, and there will be many, many new types of tools that you can use to go from inception of idea to execution of plan. And so I happen to think that automation, just in a high and general sense, is actually going to be some of the biggest things that we're going to see a lot more movement in. Obviously there's a lot of new startups that are doing like these microservices and automation systems and stuff like that. I think we're going to get through a bunch of the early stage things and kind of get through the noise. And within 5 years, the way that we go about our business in IT is going to be significantly different than how we do it today. I think it's going to be a lot more higher level language and higher level logistical thinking about what the problem is, breaking that down into smaller pieces, and then using some tools that would basically be able to get you through that faster than going in and doing individual command line entries all the time.
So if you were mentoring somebody coming into the industry or even somebody looking to change careers, what sorts of things would you guide them to? What kind of resources, what kind of tools in particular? What would you say?
Well, understanding the basics and the fundamentals of anything that you're interested in, right? So if you're interested in storage, understanding the basics of storage and how it works is always going to be a key, right? If you don't understand the fundamental pieces of it, you're not going to be able to understand it when you start talking at a higher level language, right? Same thing for networking, right? Understanding networking protocols, and for all of these things, troubleshooting and understanding a logical troubleshooting analysis process, I think is going to be one of the biggest things, because having people that can think things through is going to be important, but having people that can kind of deconstruct that if something were to go wrong, that's going to be even more valuable. So in the longer term is actually building the fundamentals, even if your tools don't require you to be able to interact with those specifically, having those fundamentals underneath that are actually going to be one of the biggest things available, and one of the biggest things that's important.
So basically, even if you can drive an automatic transmission, you should learn how to shift gears.
You should understand what the gearing means. Yes, yes.
So I think this is a really great and important conversation. Another thing we've been talking about, we're here at Cisco Live in Berlin, and so primarily it's been traditionally a networking show, and we've had a lot of people say how important it is to cross over between disciplines, and for instance, networking and storage. Can you speak to that and where you see that going?
Oh yeah, again, going back to the thought process that if you think through a business problem, you normally don't think through a business problem that is a network problem. It's normally a business problem that's going to touch multiple different disciplines. And so being able to understand how the things connect and interrelate, that's going to be a really big part of it. Obviously networking is still a big piece of it, right? Because you can't have servers to talk to storage without some sort of networking. Whether it's a closed system, whether it's an open system, whether it's IP, whether it's fiber channel, you're always going to need to understand how these things relate to each other. So, the interconnectedness, honestly, is just going to get more and more complex as we move higher up in the level of the stack and start thinking about the bigger business problems.
Do you think we'll still be able to blame the network in 5 years?
Hell no.
I like it. I like it. Thank you, Loy.
You bet. You bet. Thank you.
And we'll see you next time on Pop Up Tech Talks.